Hey everyone, it's Miss Stephanie, and I'm back with some good outdoor activities for us today. We are going to be looking at, can you spot moths? Okay, so I hope that you guys are all doing well, and I'm trying to give you guys some activities that will hopefully doesn't take too much of your effort, but it's a lot of fun, okay? And I actually tried this activity out myself because I wanted you guys to try it out too. And I actually got some pretty good moths today, okay? So, I'm going to check this out with you, okay? It says, you might think moths are mostly brown, but if you look closely, some species are the most beautiful insects you will see. Unlike butterflies, most moths are nocturnal, which means they are active at night. It would be tricky to see them in the dark, but luckily, moths appear to love light and can't help flying toward it. So as it's getting dark, lay a sheet on the grass in the garden or park or your house and place a flashlight or lantern in the center. Sit quietly and use this book to spot which moths flutter by. When you're finished, switch off the flashlight and wait a minute for the moths to fly safely away. Okay, so there are lots of different moths all over the world. If the moth you spot isn't in this book, draw a picture of it so you can find out what it is later. Okay, so here are the different type of moths that you can come across in our state and where we live. Okay, so we have first the cinnabar moth. Okay, so it is black with 2 red spots and stripes. Okay, so if you see one of those, it's what cinnabar moth. And we got the looper moth. It is fluffy brown moth with a white stripe. So I feel that I've seen these more often than any of the other moths, okay? But let's keep going. I'm sure you guys have seen some of these as well. So the next we have the angle shades moth. It is pinky brown with V-shaped markings. And this next one is a pink prominent moth. It describes it as an olive green with pink stripes on the wings and body. And our last two are the lunate zeal moth. It has a pale yellow with brown mottling. And lastly, our garden tiger moth. It is brown and white wings with black spotted red underwings. Okay? So, I hope that you guys have a good time looking for moths and actually checking them out. And I will show you next how you can catch one, because I was able to catch one, and just to look at it and observe it, and then I was able to release it safely. Okay, so check it out. Okay, so now that I already observed it, he's right there, or she. He is for sure an angle shade moth because he has a pinky brown with V-shaped markings. Okay, so I was looking at all the ones he could be, but oh, he flew away already. But that's okay. So yeah, so he is definitely an angle shades moth. Okay, all the other ones didn't fit for this little moth because he didn't have white. Okay, so let me see. He didn't have white, so he wasn't a looper moth, and he wasn't a lunate zeal moth because he didn't have any yellow in him either. So he was an angle shades moth. Okay, so I was actually able to catch a moth, and I put it in this little mason jar. Okay, and actually on top of the mason jar there's holes, so this little moth is okay for now while I'm observing it. And it's right here where I have my thumb. Let me try to clarify this. And it's a little blurry on the camera, but what I'm really seeing is that it has pink and brown colors. So hold on, okay, so you can kind of see it. Okay, it's hanging up right there. So There it is. Okay, here we go. So when I'm looking at its legs and when I'm looking at his wings, he definitely has pink and brown molding, just as how it says in the book. So now that I looked at him and saw what his colors are, I'm gonna let him go. Okay, so just keep in mind that if you don't have a little mason jar just like this one, it's okay. You can also use a plastic cup or even just a cup that you have at home, and make sure that you put a covering that has holes in it. It can be anything. You can use aluminum, you can use paper, you can use anything, but you can also just make sure that the moth is okay. So just observe it real quick, check out the colors, and then go ahead and just release them, just like how I am going to release them right now. Okay, so he's definitely the one in the book for sure. Okay,